Chances are you're already pretty familiar with the lovable world of Pikmin, but if you're not, it's a game created by Nintendo's own Shigeru Miyamoto and released on the Nintendo GameCube in 2001. Incorporating elements of the Super Mario 128 tech demo shown at the Nintendo Space World in 2000, Pikmin sees you playing as Captain Olimar, controlling a small army of a diverse plant species he dubs Pikmin. After crash landing on this planet, Olimar finds the Pikmin strangely obedient to him. You must explore this bizarre world and, with the Pikmin's help, recover the missing parts of your spaceship, the Dolphin, before your life support systems are used up. You have 30 days to collect the parts you need, so time is of the essence. Pikmin was re-released on the Wii in 2008 with some updates, such as widescreen support, while also integrating motion controls into the game. I've heard it works well and seems to fit the playstyle of the game, but I opted to play the original GameCube version, since I played it as a kid when it came out. The controls are pretty simple but extremely effective. You can move Olimar and aim your cursor with the left stick. The buttons call and dismiss Pikmin, bring up your map, change camera angles, and pressing A will throw a Pikmin. Throwing a Pikmin also commands it to attack or lift the object closest to where they land. The C stick gives you a subtle movement control over Pikmin, helping them to hug a wall in a tight corner or send them running forward towards an obstacle. Each differently colored variety of Pikmin have their own little nest that Olimar calls onions. These onions store and produce more Pikmin. Many objects you find in the world, like these pellet posies and even enemies you defeat, can be lifted up by your Pikmin and led back to their onions at your base to be converted into Pikmin seeds. Every object requires a different amount of Pikmin to lift it up, so the more, the merrier. You can have up to 100 Pikmin on the field at once, but all surplus will be stored in their onions until you need them. You start off with just the red Pikmin, who do additional damage to enemies and are resistant to fire. But eventually, you'll discover the other varieties of Pikmin that have unique capabilities. This slow drip of new mechanics is perfectly executed. Just as you're getting the grip on one thing, something new is introduced and opens up a new dimension of possibilities for problem solving. The levels were designed with this in mind, allowing you to go back to old levels with new abilities and get more secrets. Each round of Pikmin takes place over one day. You choose which location you'd like to go to, and then a meter on the top of the screen shows how much time you have left. Nightfall is very dangerous on this planet, and that's when all the fiercest beasts come out. So every night, Olimar loads his Pikmin into their onions and flies into the planet's orbit to stay safe. And the onions can fly too, somehow. There is a heart-pounding timer at the end of each level while you're scrambling to get you and your Pikmin back to your base before the day is over. And as you take off in your ship, you are forced to watch any Pikmin that you left behind get ripped apart by these monsters. This is actually pretty brutal and makes you feel terrible. Like, you literally see their souls leaving their body. This really makes Pikmin much more about resource and time management, and it can really feel like an RTS game at times. Fortunately, you don't have to find all 30 parts of your ship to win, but it does get you the best ending. There's a few bosses and mini-bosses in the game, and learning how to take them out was pretty fun. Some of the tougher enemies can take out like 20 Pikmin in one attack, so you really gotta be careful. The Pikmin AI is usually pretty good, but there are a couple moments that you kinda just have to sit back and laugh as they struggle to follow your very simple orders. There was this one part that did make me rage quit. You lead a group of Pikmin along this ridge and they're supposed to grab onto this ship part here, but I just couldn't get them to do it. So I gave up, and then the next day I tried it and it worked on the first try. So don't get too discouraged. I think my favorite part of the game is the atmosphere. Olimar gives these little blurbs about ship parts as you find them, as well as writing a daily journal entry at the end of each night. These entries reflect specific things you did during that day, and even provide some backstory for Olimar, which I think really makes you feel like you're alone and isolated on this weird planet, struggling to survive, hoping you'll see your family again someday soon. I was really blown away by how much I enjoyed Pikmin. I know it's a hard sell considering there's no chainsaw battles or big boob ladies, but it's a really damn well made game, and I think you should check it out, regardless of what kind of games you play.